Yeah. Listen, I think, listen, we were really bad defensively. Um, we were really bad defensively today. We were really disappointed with the way that we guarded the ball. Um, with our ball screen defense, the way we guarded the ball, we dictated very little. I just think just picking up and playing man defense just eventually just kind of wore them out. But I mean that was like what you saw there defensively. It was a byproduct of it was probably 50-50 in my mind in terms of listen, when and this is not something that that I'm going to be able to go to for a long time. But when you go into when you're out for 2 weeks and you miss 12 practices right before the opener, and you get 4 or 5 days then to get your team ready, and even in those first couple, you are limited because of the COVID situation and everything that's going on with that. It's hard to develop the defensive intensity, the defensive toughness, the defensive mentality when you can't do defensive drills, when you can't have hard practices. So obviously something's got to give in terms of the way that we're going to deal moving forward, with the positive test. But if you're going to have to sit out 2 weeks, there should be some type of there should be a rule in place where you get at least a week to prepare before you step out onto the court. And I'm going to say that right now, and hopefully something should be mandated. If we're sticking to the 2 weeks where you can't practice, it's not fair. It's not fair for anybody involved. I know everyone wants their sports. Everyone wants college basketball back. We desperately want it back. I know the networks want the programming. Everybody needs this back, but we got to do right by these kids. And so that's a long answer to, I'm not even sure what the question was. Just
Wayne,
a
go
rant.
ahead. I'm sorry.
But it should be mandated. You should get, if they're going to shut everyone down for one positive test for 2 weeks and you can't practice, then they've got a mandate where you can't play your next game for a week, because today was like an extended practice. And unfortunately, the ramifications of losing one of these extended practices could wreck your season. So,
Wayne, go ahead. Unmute, Wayne.
There you go. Hey, could you talk about the play of Sanogo? He was really good.
Yeah, Sanogo, for you guys that go way back in the Big East here, he's like a 6'9" version of Jerry Walker, who is a great, great player. I played with at Seton Hall, who, if he was 6'9", would have been an NBA player. So Sanogo he had no idea. Listen, defensively, he was lost. Offensively, he was lost. If he had those 12 practices, if you would have even saw a better version of him. He's great hands, relentless on the backboard, special guy. He's only going to get better because he's a worker. He's a warrior.
Wayne, you have another one?
Yeah, and then to talk about the play of R.J. Cole. He really settled down your offensive times and really worked that guard offense well.
Yeah, I mean, R.J. offensively, I thought he was fine. I thought, he could have playmaked better. I thought he could have created more shots for others. I think we need him to create a little bit more offense for others, but he's obviously, his 3-point shooting, just his feel, you could see it. I did not like, the defensive effort. Obviously, we cannot allow, UConn should not allow Central Connecticut's guards to get wherever they want on the court. And that went on for a while. And, I'll give, again, I'll throw these guys a little bit of a break because of what we've dealt with the last couple of weeks. But come Friday night, I don't want to hear no more. Ooh,
Mike, Anthony?
sorry.
Yeah, Dan, you basically touched on what I was going to ask about coming off the 2-week shutdown. But in addition to that, just in general, what your program and and all programs across the country have been through over 8 months now, how much of a relief is it to have reached this point and have a start to a season just to kind of get to a see what you can make of it spot?
Yeah, it's you feel we all live for this, Mike. Like we live for it. I mean, this is like to get back and to have to wake up with butterflies and nerves about an opener or game day, and just as coaches and players, just you felt alive again. If you felt more like yourself, and so from that standpoint, it was just awesome to be a part of of playing and competing again, and I mean, there's things about the way that we go about the season with COVID that we've got to get ironed out and consistent. Hopefully the quarantine on positive tests apparently may go down, and it'll be smoother, listen, uncertainty is going to be part of the season. Whoever deals with it the best is going to thrive the most. And, I'm going to give my guys, again, a mulligan on the defensive end of the court with how brutal we were. But come Friday night, they got their mulligan. And I'm not a golfer, but I still know the term.
Dave,
Thanks.
Borges?
Dan, smaller lineup, I imagine a lot of that had to do with Central being a smallish team, but with the versatility and depth you guys have, do you anticipate multiple lineups throughout the season, depending on obviously the opponent as well?
Yeah, I think the lineup today, Dave, was more of a reflection on trying to get the most experienced guys on the court, and the fact that Brendan really wasn't startable because he's had practice restrictions coming back from the surgery on the foot. Not having Tyrese, Dre, wasn't an option for us to start. Start him because he's a little bit further behind than Adama. So our hands were tied with, the two, Jalen and RJ with Book and Tyler and Isaiah. But, again, when you have a defensive performance like we did tonight, I'm obviously not pleased with the way that we guarded. So, yeah, I wouldn't, it may be a much different lineup Friday or a different lineup Friday, 2 weeks from now. Once we are able to get more work in, but we weren't disruptive. We weren't athletic. We didn't look disruptive. I mean, I wouldn't read too much into who started this first one. We were just trying to put guys after what we've dealt with the 2-week pause, just the guys that we felt like had the most experience.
Danny, Barletta?
So, hey, Coach. So in the first 14 minutes, there were 10 lead changes. So I was just asking, what did you see from Central during that time? And what adjustments were you able to make to kind of pull away after that?
I don't know necessarily that we made any adjustments. I just think that, we turned them over a little bit more. You know, our 3-point, our closeouts were dreadful. Our ball screen defense was really bad. Our individual defense was bad. And I think that they have really good. I think they have really good guards. I think Danielle. I know that league well. I coached in that league. I think Danielle has a team that's got a chance, to finish in that top 4. I really like his team. He's got guard depth. He's got 3 front court guys that can play. Danielle's a really good coach. So I thought they played well too. I mean, we were brutal, but I also think Danielle did a great job just having his team ready to play, and they played really well.
Dom?
Yeah, Dan, is anything wrong with Carlton? Any reason that he didn't play more than he did?
No, it was, strictly, the way things have gone in practice. And, since we've been able to start, Isaiah, with the way that we went with the lineups today, based on playing a low, a low Division I or a low to mid, whatever you want to call it, just made the most sense for us to go with Tyler and Isaiah Tyler at the 4, Isaiah at the 5. Now, that may change, but Adama, if we're starting Isaiah at the 4, Adama has earned through practice, every single day he's earned, back up 5 minutes. And just coming out of this, I didn't like our physical stature during the game. I didn't like our size, both on the perimeter and in the front court. I didn't like the way. So, you could see a situation where, where Isaiah, starts at the 4 with Adama. But Josh has got a battle right now. Josh has got he's got competition for minutes that he hasn't had to deal with since he's been here, and he's good enough to be a factor and to really help our team. He's got to battle. He's got to add such value that we're forced to play him.
I just asked you about Andre and what you saw from him in the time. It looked like maybe it was a little fast form in the first half, but he got in the flow later on.
Yeah, I mean, Dre just with the, he had a brutal summer and a brutal preseason with the knees, just missing a ton of time. And then, I just think he'd be so much further ahead if he didn't, again, he lost 12 practices. It's hard enough to get a freshman ready for the opener without missing 12. So, but the one thing, for the way that I want to play, for the way that I want to guard people, for the way that I want to disrupt with my defense, he was one of he might have been the only guy on the perimeter defensively that gave us any type of disruption, and that was the second half. So, the rest of the guards were basically, just there defensively. But second half, he's shown some signs, obviously some passing, and a guy that could be a disruptor defensively. We just have to find that sweet spot for how to play him offensively.
Neil Ostrom? Is that one?
Yeah, I was going to ask about Dre too, but that's okay.
Okay.
How about Book seems to get 20 easy points? Did it seem that way to you? Is that kind of what makes him so special, I suppose, that he can almost do it? It's not effortlessly, but it looks effortlessly.
I liked his first half offensively. Obviously he missed a couple good looks at threes, which I think he's going to take the next step that way this year. I didn't like the way he guarded. I didn't like. I thought in the second half, he didn't play to his class level as a player. I thought he got a little out of control. He got a little reckless. Great players, when they attack the paint, they have a plan. And, James, I think he got a little sped up and a little wild. And, but it was, again, it's like, that should have been a secret scrimmage. It's, there's a lot that went into, I think, a lot of the uneven performances, by a number of the guys today.
We'll take one more. Jeff Jacobs.
Hey, Dan, I know you pointed out that you didn't have enough practice time, and you also gave them a mulligan. I was wondering, with only one day between games, exactly what you can clean up in that time.
Jeff, it's going to be hard. I mean, when you're looking at the way that you fix things is on the practice floor. You can't draw it up on a clipboard during a game and fix things. It's repetitions. You build tough-minded teams, aggressive, physical, tough teams by having tough, physical, competitive practices that then forms and builds your team. So, that's an issue for us right now. That's why we've got decisions that we've got to make. I know it's very important to get games in, but, right now you also too, if you don't have the ability to play well because of what we've dealt with, you can't fix it on the fly, so, we've got one day to get ready for a Hartford team that, I think will be able to, for 40 minutes, sustain the type of play that Central, was able to take to the court. Hartford's a better team. They'll be able to sustain it for a full game. So that's a scary game on Friday. And then to have not much practice time before 3 games next week. This is a real issue that we've got to make a smart decision with how the next 10 days unfolds for us before the Big East starts. Because the most important part of our season is definitely December 11th when the Big East starts. So, and if people don't understand that, and if some of the there's I see a lot of people on Twitter. The coaches should shut up and stop complaining, but most of those people aren't coaches. Most of those people are not coaches. Those are critics and or people that are evaluating what's going on in the game. I guarantee you, if they were responsible for getting a team ready to win or lose very important games, their perspective would be much different. They wouldn't be as cavalier with, hey, shut up and go out and play. So there you go.